Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and we're going to talk a little bit about Space Force. We're going to talk a little bit about holograms and projections. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about DARPA, lunar missions, and a whole lot more. And if you caught my video yesterday, I didn't ask me anything. I was trying to have a little bit of fun. And I showed these videos that were going viral kind of on Twitter of people filming with their cameras, and we're going to show some of those again. These two objects in the sky that it was really tough to tell what they were, but it did look like two planets or two moons, and I mean there were conspiracy theories abound on what they could be. And I said, look, you look at those and it could be a viral marketing campaign for a movie. It could be, holographic, etc., and now we find out that it was actually the UAE government that projected them in the sky for one of their upcoming missions. Now, I want you to let that sink in. Without a populace being aware at all, they were, fooled as it looked real. And, it was in the skyline. So great, they told you they projected it this time, but obviously the people that have discussed Project Bluebeam in the past and these technologies are going to be really interested in this story. We got a lot, because now they're also telling you Citizen Space Force, commercial on Super Bowl in association with SpaceX, Elon Musk. We love him. We love Elon. Elon. Look at what he did today. He bought $1.5 billion in Bitcoin after changing it to his profile and brought Bitcoin, I think, to new highs around 44,000, somewhere in there. Has it hit 44? I think it was at 43 sometime today. And we all know how I feel about Elon Musk, and that in actuality what Elon Musk is a transhumanist frontman for projects involving, DARPA. All that advanced defense research they do. You know what I'm talking about. They got programs, those guys. So buckle up. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about deep fakes. We're going to be talking about the videos of these projections that now we know these were not actors, and they genuinely thought they were seeing some type of planetary phenomenon in the sky. All right, guys, so you know it. We can't stand it, but we're fully demonetized here. Go get funding, link down below. And my addresses for some crypto, that's down there as well. I really do appreciate everybody that has donated and does support the program. Thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. And Rokfin. I didn't do my exclusive today yet. There will be a Rokfin exclusive, a free one. And I encourage you, I did one yesterday. And we did the Super Bowl halftime watch along. And you had a lot of transhumanist elements there. And you had a lot of occultic Luciferian elements there. And you had a lot of, fascistic color schemes there. And we did it live. You saw the confused face that I was making. I'm going to try to get, I think, Jay Dyer on and do a breakdown of the entire Super Bowl halftime show now that I've let it marinate and sink in. And we did a really good Holy Mountain together. So again, make sure you make that free account and join the Rokfin so you can see these free exclusives. We're doing at least 5 a week over there. And Odyssey, great alternative site, has backed up my entire channel. They've backed it up. They've backed it on up. Over 1,800 videos are up there. So I want to thank those guys so much for that. So if they do pull the plug, that's another great place to find me. All right, let's do it. Were mysterious rocks really spotted in UAE skies? So we covered this yesterday. And, let's watch some of these videos. I believe this is the big compilation video right here.
Listen, look at that.
What?
Look at that. Seriously, what the hell is that? No, look up into the top.
Oh my god. Oh, what is that?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in. Oh god.
So now I want to pause this really quick, because one of the things I've discussed about, UFOs, for instance, other than the fact that I would think that the majority of sightings, at least of the actual aircraft, are indeed military based. Many of them probably drones at this point, with different types of propulsion systems. But I've also said some of these events also, especially when you talk about the formations and the lights, and you see what modern day drones, that are traditional, can be programmed to do. I encourage people to check out stuff that was at Burning Man the last few years. Obviously, it didn't happen this year. But think about holographic technology and the possibility of it being around in the 70s and 80s. We already knew it was kind of there in the 80s, right? We saw some of these holograms. Now, put that with different propulsion devices or drone devices that we weren't aware of, right? And now we know that this is projected. We're going to show you that story in a moment.
غريب. شكله صخرة في الهواء. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Look at that.
What's going on?
Oh my god.
What's there?
Oh.
You see? It's like, and there are two, right?
Yeah. اثنين. أول مرة. There. Oh.
So the cell phone within a cell phone within a cell phone video. And that's where I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a viral marketing campaign. Turns out it is not. It is the Hope probe. 2 moons recently appeared in Dubai. And again, this is it. Look at it. The UAE government media office put it up there to celebrate Hope probe's rendezvous with Mars. So they have a probe going to Mars. And I've always said this, that NASA is the front for a ton of black programs. Listen, let's start here because we're going to get into some other articles in a moment. NASA and the space program is a black budget. I mean, I don't even want to call it a nightmare, because you can't imagine what they've been doing in underground bases. You can't imagine what the Department of Energy, in conjunction with programs from NASA, was up to then. And now NASA is just kind of this front. In many ways, it is very Hollywood-esque, right? You can't really trust your own eyes. We also showed you that ISS video of the actual moon for the first time, seeing it in a setting where it seems to be distorted. Okay, and now we know, and we've known this technology exists, but now they're putting it into place. And whether you think this is just kind of a dry run or it is what it says, you can no longer trust your own eyes, and you probably shouldn't have for a very long time. Now, last night at the Super Bowl, they had the Space Force flag flying. And by the way, I want to say this, again, the halftime show, definitely extremely bizarre, occultic. Go watch my video as we watch it. But the commercials, I was actually happily surprised that the propaganda was at a very minimal level in many respects. From the masks to even the environment stuff, I thought I was going to get hit with way harder than I did. And this performance in particular, I wonder why they don't do more performances like this one, where they rework the national anthem into something a little more poppy and cool. And I'll tell you what, man, this one's going to stick in my mind. And obviously they were trying to do the diversity with, the white country singer and, the black R&B woman, but both of them really talented, really did well playing off of one another. And I actually enjoyed it, but we're only showing it to you for the Space Force, not the commentary. Now, this is where it really gets juicy, guys. Inspiration 4, they're selling you on the idea, and this is cartoon level, that we're going to have a citizen Space Force, okay? And what we're not going to play is they show you like the Hollywood-esque how we put this commercial together. And you notice this this spacesuit here looks a little bit more sleek, maybe more 2001: A Space Odyssey style. So let's play this. I didn't even realize this was going to be a Space Anything commercial because it starts out so dark and you wonder what you're looking at. You know what? I better pause that and take the audio off because we don't want a copyright. Probably get it for those 2 seconds, 3 seconds for there. So here we go. So as you can see, it's kind of tough to see what you're saying. I'm like, is this body armor? No, it's the first all-civilian space mission, Inspiration 4. And you could be going to space. Now, think about this. This is almost repackaged in a lot of ways. And I'm going to tell you why it's repackaged in a lot of ways, okay? Go to Inspiration 4 for details, okay? And by the way, this is all backed by SpaceX, okay, and our Lord Elon Musk. It's very similar to the 80s because there was that feeling. First of all, in the 80s, information coming in at much, much less of a rate. A lot of people now do question a lot of things in the space program and NASA in general, where that wasn't really a thing. You know, if you were talking about the Apollo missions at all back then, it was very, very rare. It was in the dark corners, and eventually, like Fox did a special on it somewhere in the 90s when it was starting to get talked about a little bit more, right? And I'm not weighing in on that here. That's not what I'm here to do. But in the 80s, they also sold you on, you know, the first teachers going to space. She was like this whole crew, and we had women in it. And, you know, that was the diversity of the day. They had people of color and all these different astronauts from all these different avenues of life. And they were going up in the Challenger. And they put them in a rocket. And we know how that ended. Didn't end well. I still remember I watched the Challenger blow up live in a cafeteria. People from my generation will always remember that. Okay? And you got to remember, Reagan was even, you know, talking about the Star Wars program then. It wasn't a secret. You know, it was on the cover of Time magazine and weaponizing space against the Russians. The details of which we never really got to see. But remember, what happened big time in the 80s and 90s, people started getting VHS cameras and they started seeing what appeared to be like craft, even more so than they did in, you know, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. And now you were starting to see the triangular straight craft, all these other things, right? And remember, in the early 90s, they release the stealth bomber to the public. It's really the last thing we've seen, right? The stealth bomber comes out to the public, and that's something that originated out of the Horton brothers and the flying wing from the 1940s. Just pointing all these facts out. So right now, I mean, the spacescape right now is changing. As you can see, you know, they're already implementing this. They're telling you to get the public behind it, just like they were doing in the 80s. And this is like the remilitarization of space. That's the reality. And when I say the remilitarization of space, I'm not kidding. DARPA to survey private sector capabilities to build factories on the moon. Now, I don't know whether any of this is going to come to fruition at all, but they're going to be having webinars where they're looking for novel orbital and moon manufacturing materials and mass efficient design. So they're trying to basically mine things in orbit, and then they talk about the moon and whether you think we're going to the moon or not or any of that stuff. And believe me, again, rockets, not convinced. Rocket technology, very dated. But they're talking about transportation of materials and equipment, okay? Becoming more routine for government and private industry. You understand? This is going to be a real thing in some sense. But what the public will see of these programs and what's actually going on are going to be vastly different things. You think they've been vastly different things now? I can't imagine. We can really no longer believe our eyes in any way, shape, or form when this comes, when it comes down to the space program, right? I think that we're establishing that more and more. And rocket technology, a data technology, one that's extremely volatile, one that we played, another SpaceX rocket exploding just a week ago. It's time to think for yourself, folks. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. We're going to be doing Mixed Martial Mindset in a couple hours with John Fitch. We're heavy on the mindset, and we do talk about mixed martial arts. We like that as well. So if you guys aren't watching that, you're missing a lot of conversations that are really good with me and John, where we're covering a slew of issues, and you don't just have to hear me run my mouth. Didn't even get 100 thumbs up on this one, guys. What? No bueno? No bueno? You didn't like this one? $5, $10, $15. Big donors. It means the world to me. Down below, you can find the Go Get Funding link. Remember, GoFundMe got rid of my last campaign. That's not why we're doing them anymore. Check out the videos. Subscribe, share. Hopefully, we don't get deplatformed for daring to talk about, projected holograms in the sky and space programs and DARPA. Rockfin. We're going to do an exclusive today. It will be there sometime today. If you haven't watched the Super Bowl halftime watch along, I'm going to encourage you to do that as well. Remember, you can also find my stuff on Odyssey. Not about left or right, guys. It's about right and wrong. I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.